Hi everyone, this is the Empower New Nurses Show. I'm Dr. Miriam Smith, and today I just want to welcome you again to this empowering time when we review, when we share, and we talk a little about different topics that can help the new nurse as she's on her journey in gaining more experiences in the nursing profession. So today we'll talk a little about menopause. The reason for that, the new nurse and the nurses and the older first, we all encounter different patients at different levels. We care for different age groups and diversity, of course. So today we'll talk a little on menopause. Now, when we think of menopause, many times you'll hear individuals saying that they're going through, women saying that they're going through menopause because they start having some hot flashes. Well, technically, let's look at it from this angle. Menopause, what that is. Let's say menopause is a normal biological process, right, in the woman's body. And menopause in itself is the cessation of menstrual period for 12 months, consecutive 12 months after the last period. So that is menopause. So many times one is thinking of, when they start having the hot flashes and the sweating, they started thinking of that is menopause, when in reality, truth, it is actually perimenstrual transition, because at this time there are some changes occurring in the hormones, the estrogen and the progesterone. All right. And these hormones are secreted by the ovaries. Now we're going to just have an overview of what it's all about. Now, think of this experience is normal. It's not an illness. So I want you to get that clear in your mind. It's not an illness. Okay. It's a normal biological process. So when we think of it, don't think of it as an illness, women. Now, this can occur. It can occur early, before 40. And by research, the data has shown that about 1% of women experience this, their menopause. It occurs with 1%, think of it, before they're 40. And 5% about between 40 to 45 women in that age group. So menopause doesn't happen suddenly. It's a process. And that's why we have like 3 different stages. So you have the one with hot flashes and the changes that are occurring and your mood changes and all of that. It's resulting from a decline in these hormones, the estrogen and the progesterone. And these are secreted by the ovaries, which is located on either side of the uterus in the pelvic cavity. So what one should bear in mind, this can happen, these changes, and we're going to say the perimenopausal transition. This is a time when you have the hormones declining and everything just going haywire, right? There's no regularity. It becomes erratic. And so during this time, there might be a stopping, there might be a pause, there might be a delay, everything changes, right? There's no sequence of anything anymore during this time. You can have this month, next month it might change another way, whether in consistency or heaviness or frequency, that can happen. So what can happen at this time also, one can get pregnant. It might delay for a long time, but at this time, although you're going through these changes, one can get pregnant. Okay, so bear that in mind. This can last for up to 10 years, anywhere from 4 years, like as an average before the last period. But this can happen. It can happen anywhere 10 years, a small amount, number of people can start at about 10 years before the last period. This erratic type of changes, okay? Changes in frequency, changes in heaviness and timing. So that's the perimenopausal or transitional time. That's a time when the hot flashes, right? The sweating, the change in mood, and the discomfort. That's the time. Okay, so that's the perimenopausal. More the menopausal I'm emphasizing is a time when after the last period, 12 consecutive months without any. That's the menopause. Then after that 12 months, that's the postmenopausal. So that's just to give you an idea of the changes that occur, the normalcy, and it varies. Bear in mind, one size doesn't fit everybody. Where women are individualized, so there might be some changes, but on an average, it usually be between 40, 45, 50, 40 to 55. That's but most times a 5% happens between 40 and 45. I'll put these in little tidbits because for one who is a lay person, the new nurse might be explaining, and there's a different mindset because traditionally or by some culture, it's just a belief that that is it. But when we go through the biological part of it, we know that, and you will hear many myths about it too. But this is an opportunity for you to learn that when the hot flashes come on and all of that, it's the perimenopausal or the transitional phase. But it's the menopause itself is the time when there is no period, no menstrual cycle for 12 months after last period. So with that, I will continue in another episode for on this same topic. We'll talk about the causes, and we'll talk about some treatments and maybe some personal experiences different individuals might want to share. But I had a presentation recently with some women, and they were able to talk about it and understood and did learn the differences between the 3 stages. Thank you so much for listening, and look forward to continuing with the causes and some treatments, both, ordinary treatment and, of course, the medical treatment. But let me hasten to tell you that the menopause might be induced by maybe surgery or the removal of the ovaries, or it could also be because of some maybe chemotherapy or radiation or some other treatments that can induce menopause, or some autoimmune diseases can also let it happen before that time frame. I'm Dr. Miriam Smith. I just brought you information on menopause, and we will continue. You can contact me on YouTube at Miriam Amanda Smith, and Instagram Podcast Mir. I look forward to hearing from you in the next episode, which will be on some of the causes and some signs and symptoms and treatment of menopause. Let me hope that will help not just the young nurse, but as the older nurse also share information with patients. And I know this is something that be general that others can benefit from. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to seeing you and hearing from you and your comments. Subscribe on the next episode.